great to see you again. This is Alexa, and today I will read you a story called The Lady and the Lion. So welcome and relax. Let's begin. Once upon a time, a merchant asked his 3 daughters what he should bring them from the city. The first asked for pearls, the second for gold, but the youngest longed for a singing lark. The merchant found a pearl necklace and a bracelet of gold, but there were no songbirds to behave for love or money that winter. He turned toward home, sorry to disappoint his youngest daughter. The road took him past a fine castle with a great garden full of spring flowers in spite of the winter snows. At the top of a laurel tree, a lark sang. The merchant climbed the tree and had just captured the lark when a loud roar split the air. "I eat those who steal from me," said a great lion standing below. "I did not know the bird was yours," said the merchant. "Please spare me. Promise me whatever first greets you when you return home. Then you may have your life and my bird," said the lion. The merchant hesitated because his youngest daughter was often the first to greet him. The lion growled with impatience, shaking the leaves. The merchant also shook at the idea of staying trapped in the tree. He thought perhaps it will only be my hunting dog or the barn cat, so he agreed to the bargain. When the merchant neared home, his heart sank to see his youngest daughter running toward him. "I have your singing lark, but at too high a cost," he said. He told of the fierce lion and his promise. "I cannot let you go, for the lion will tear you to pieces." But his daughter said, "Dear father, you taught us to keep our word. I will go to the lion, and perhaps he will free me too." The next morning, she set out into the forest with a singing lark and a brave heart. She arrived at dusk to find a great lion standing at the castle gate. A dozen more lions came and took their place, watching her with their golden eyes. The great lion circled around her, then stopped in front of her and waited. "I have come to keep my father's promise. A lion that loves birds will do no harm," she said, handing him the lark. She showed no fear, but her knees trembled. Her words and courage touched the lion's heart. "Welcome to my home, lady," the green lion said. The lady looked into his gentle eyes and became less afraid. He led her inside the castle. The only light came from the last rays of the setting sun, visible through the window. She turned to speak, then gasped. Next to her stood not a lion, but a handsome young man. "Please do not be afraid," he said, looking at her with a lion's eyes. "A wicked enchantress cast a spell on me when I refused to marry her. My court and I are lions by day and humans by night. stay with us. I will keep my father's promise, whether you are human or lion, said the lady. Light a candle so I can see you clearly. I dare not, he replied. This curse has another part. If a ray of candlelight touches me, I become a white dove, forced to fly across the world for 7 years. So the lady stayed with the lion. They soon grew to love each other, for the prince was as gentle and kind in his human forms as he was strong in his lion form. They married and lived happily. Together they planted a garden full of night-blooming flowers. At times they would roam through the woods in the daylight, with the lady riding upon the lion's back. She still loved songbirds, and the lion knew just where to find the ones that sang most sweetly. One day news came that her sister were to be married. The lady longed to see her family again and introduce her beloved husband. The prince offered to have his lions escort her. Please come with me, she said to him. Unable to deny his lady anything, the prince agreed, and they set out the next day. Her family was delighted to see her. The lady had a room built in her father's house, with walls so thick no light could penetrate. As night fell, the lion shut himself inside, but the wood of the door was green, and as it dried, a tiny crack appeared. After the church ceremony, the wedding party returned to the merchant's house, carrying candles to light their way. As the procession came into the house, past the darkened room, a splinter of candlelight came into the house. Past the darkened room, a splinter of candlelight no wider than a hair pierced the door and touched the prince. When the lady opened the door, she gasped to see only a white dove huddled inside. The dove said, "For 7 years I must fly across the wide world. Every 7 steps you take, I will drop a white feather to guide you. If you follow, we can be together again." The dove flew over her head and out the door, dropping a feather as it did so. The lady caught the feather and followed. On she ran, looking neither right nor left, nor stopping to rest. Near the end of the 7 years, she rejoiced, thinking they would soon be together. But suddenly there was no feather to guide her. When she looked up, the white dove had vanished. Desperate, she turned her face to the sky. "Sun, you shine in every valley and on every mountain top. Have you seen my white dove?" "I have not seen your dove," said the sun, "but I give you this chest to open in your hour of need." The lady thanked the sun and traveled on until night. Weary, she rested at the edge of a woodland stream. She looked up at the full moon and said, "Moon, you shine over every field and every forest. Have you seen my white dove?" A ribbon of moonlight washed the palm of her hand with a burst of blue light. As the light faded, she held what looked like a common hen's egg. "I have not seen your dove," said the moon, "but I give you this egg to break open in your hour of need." She thanked the moon and walked on. At the edge of the wild wood, the earth dropped down to the sea. The lady stopped. She said, "North, north wind, you blow through every leaf and flower. Have you seen my white dove?" Suddenly a blast of wind came with such force that she feared being blown off the cliff onto the rocks below. "I have seen your dove," whispered the north wind. "In his lion form, he fights a dragon by the Red Sea. This dragon is also the enchantress who cursed him. He needs your help. Ride my griffin there and distract the dragon so the lion may overcome her. When the dragon falls, they will both return to human form. Take your husband onto the griffin at once. Do not delay, or you will not escape her." The lady thanks the north wind. She flew the griffin to the Red Sea, where she saw her lion battling the dragon. Frightened, the lady urged the griffin to fly straight at the dragon's face. The dragon snapped viciously at the griffin. The lion saw his chance and pounced. He drove his teeth and claws into the dragon's neck, and they went crashing to the surf. Lying stunned at the edge of the shore, they both became human again. In her joy, the lady forgot the north wind's warning. Instead, she jumped off the griffin and ran to her husband. While they embraced, the enchantress mounted the griffin. Swooping down upon them, she ripped the prince away and flew with him across the wide sea. The lady, angry over forgetting the north wind's advice, sat by the water's edge and wept. At last she dried her eyes and vowed, "As long as the sun shines and the moon glows, I will search until I find him." She traveled on, crossing deep valleys and high mountains, over rushing rivers and through wild forest. Finally, she came to a castle on a twisting road. The people of the village said it belonged to an enchantress who was marrying a prince the next day. The lady, spotting the north wind's griffin tied to the castle gate, knew the prince was her captive husband. She wondered how to reach him. Then she remembered the chest the sun had given her. Opening the chest, she found a golden dress spun from sunlight and as brilliant as the day. The lady put it on and walked into the castle with her head held high. She was met by the enchantress, who was dazzled by the bright beauty of the dress. The enchantress said, "In that gown I would outshine the sun. I must have it for my wedding. What will you take for it? The lady replied, I have heard so much about the courage of your prince. Let me meet him, and I will give you the dress. The enchantress did not like this, but she so longed for the dress that she agreed. Then she ordered her servant to sneak a sleeping potion into the prince's drink. The lady was led into the tower where the prince was a prisoner, in a room with one window facing the sea. When she arrived, he was asleep. The lady tried to shake him awake, but he slept on. Despondent, she sat by his side and said, For 7 years I followed you across a wide world. I asked the sun and the moon and the north wind for news of you. When you fought the dragon, I helped you. Please wake up now. But to the prince, her cries seemed to be the wind rustling through the trees. Then the lady remembered the moon's egg. She cracked it open. Inside she found a silver cup, edged with pearls and filled with liquid. She raised the cup to the prince's lips and poured the liquid into his mouth. He opened his eyes and said, I dreamed we were together again. While the lady and the prince rejoiced, the brilliant sundress turned into soot in the enchantress's hands. Enraged, she rushed up the tower stairs. Hearing her footsteps, the lady and the prince ran to the window. There is no escape, said the prince. I will have to fight again. But the lady had another idea. North Wind, she cried, unleash your griffin so we may be carried home. The tower door burst open, and the enchantress charged the lovers just as the griffin reached the window. Quickly, they jumped onto the griffin's back. The enchantress lunged at them. Losing her balance, she fell head first out the window and crashed upon the rocks below, never to cause trouble again. Into the light of the new day, the lady and her prince flew on the griffin across the wide world to their home, where the flowers bloomed all year long, and they lived happily forever after. It is the end of the story.